Joining me is the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Nicholas Reece. Nicholas, great to see you again. What is it that's actually, there's never a solution without a problem to start with. What is it that is forcing you to consider this kind of thing?
Look, Melbourne is a safe city, Andrew, but we have parts of the city which are problematic, and we have behaviours around the city which are problematic as well. And so, as Lord Mayor, I am very firmly committed to doing everything I can to make sure that everyone in Melbourne is safe, and not only that, they feel safe as well. We have at the City of Melbourne one of the most extensive CCTV camera networks in Australia. They're monitored over close to 300 cameras. They're monitored 24 hours a day in our control centre at Town Hall. And last night, the City of Melbourne agreed that we would investigate new video analytic technologies to see if they could work to help make Melbourne safer. Now, I want to stress from the outset, Andrew, that review will weigh up the safety benefits and the privacy implications of the new technologies so that we can help make a judgment about what to do.
I perfectly understand why you want to be cautious about that, but I mean, you're quite right. Look, honestly, Swanston Street at night is basically frightening, parts of it, and King Street, don't even talk about that. So we have got a real problem in that city. Now, what you're talking about is not exactly new, of course. I mean, there's something like that at Logan in Brisbane. The MCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground, they do this sort of checking. Some concert venues do the same for things like the Taylor Swift concerts. Bunnings and Kmart did it as well to stop thieves especially. But the Privacy Commission told them that it was unlawful, an invasion of customers' privacy, especially keeping people's face prints when customers hadn't consented. Bunnings is appealing that, but how do you see that balance? Privacy versus safety?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right that more and more organisations are using this technology, whether it's the MCG, Logan City Council in South East Queensland, or pretty much any shopping centre in Australia now as well. So all we're doing at the City of Melbourne is saying, could these technologies be used on the streets of the central city? The truth is there's a range of technologies here as well, Andrew. So, it can be simple as AI technology being able to detect a dumped trolley and then notifying the supermarket owner of the dumped trolley and please have it removed. It can move through to recognising motor vehicle registration plates or vehicles. So if needed, police can track. Equally, they can track people based on clothes or distinctive clothing items like a backpack. Then you sort of move further up the scale and you've got bioinformatic data. So that can include facial recognition software, but it can also include things like somebody's gait. So, for example, imagine if somebody was running through the middle of Bourke Street Mall. That would be an unusual thing. Most people would be walking in an area like that. So if somebody's running, the technology can pick up that, and that maybe they're running from someone. Maybe they've been up to no good. But the technology can pick that up, detect it, and then alert authorities to it. So there's lots of new applications that are emerging with the technologies. And again, at the City of Melbourne, I agree. I think privacy concerns, human rights dimensions really need to be weighed up here against the benefits to solving crime. And I can tell you this, in Melbourne, CCTV is very effective. Our Safe City camera network has been involved in 43,000 incidents, and it literally stops crime in its tracks, stopping crime while it's occurring. So it deters crime, it also detects crime. It's a very effective tool.
I totally get the argument, Nick. Then again, you think, obviously, these are powers that can be used by dictatorial governments, and certainly are in China, to really interfere with people's freedom. And I even think, I reckon one hurdle you might have is the fact that we had a semi-dictatorial government in the Andrews government. I know you're a Labor guy, but still, the Daniel Andrews government during the COVID lockdowns. It would frighten me to consider what that man could do with facial recognition technology to get people to obey his tyrannical lockdown. And I think that a lot of people might think, oh, golly, we've been through that kind of thing. We don't want that. Is that a factor?
Yeah, so I know you're not a big regulation guy, Andrew, but it is interesting. There is more regulation rolling out in this area at the moment, both at a state and federal level. You mentioned Bunnings before. So they had the Australian Office of Information Commissioner look at that particular case, and Bunnings decided, sorry, the commissioner decided that in that particular case, the benefits of Bunnings using facial recognition software on everyone entering a store did not outweigh the privacy implications. So said Bunnings couldn't keep doing it. Now, Bunnings, interestingly, have appealed that case to the AAT, the Administrative Appeals Tribunal. So that'll be a lot of people watching to see what happens here. But the point is that this is an area where I think you do want to have guardrails in place. You need to know who's watching the watchers and making sure that there's not overreach, and it's certainly not being put to any use that is not strictly agreed to in our democracy. But look, I've got to put it to you, Andrew. I think I've seen that CCTV can have a powerful effect. I reckon once upon a time people were opposed to that. As long as you've got the right checks in place, I think some of these technologies can be very helpful. But again, I'm not going to preempt the outcome of the review that we're undertaking at the City of Melbourne. It's due to report in July.
Yeah, but Nicholas, we're mates, and I would trust you with this technology. Dan Andrews, I wouldn't trust him the length of his golf stick. Really, I just wouldn't trust him at all. And that is really the issue. We have seen government overreach again and again. But I agree with you. I mean, why not? Bunnings was being robbed blind by people, and that costs for everyone causes costs for everyone to rise. And why they shouldn't to be able to monitor that sort of stuff when customers can freely go to another shop if they don't like it, I don't get it. But Nicholas Reece, I'm really fascinated to see the results of what you're investigating here. Thank you so much for your time.